Hello, my name is LaShondra Roberts, and I am doing my Unit 6 Argumentative speech on the importance of bystander CPR and a method known as hands-only CPR. So tonight I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the importance of doing CPR if you're ever faced with an emergency situation. While preparing my speech for this unit, I started to do a lot of research on top of what I already know about CPR and cardiac arrest. I did a little research and I came across the Sudden Cardiac Arrest Foundation. Their website is full of useful information in regards to sudden cardiac arrest, as well as how to react as a bystander. And one of the major methods that they promote is called hands-only CPR. I'll get into that a little bit more later. Working in the fire service, the majority of the calls that we run are medical calls, many of them being cardiac arrest calls. So we get on scene and the person is in cardiac arrest, and a lot of times CPR has not been started because bystanders just refuse to do it. They give various reasons as to why they don't want to perform CPR or why they didn't start CPR, when in fact, if they had started CPR before EMS arrived on scene, they could possibly save that person's life. So from the Cardiac Arrest Foundation website, I found a lot of information that I'm going to kind of throw out there for you guys. Also, in the link that I have provided below, there's also some information and graphics, some visuals about the statistics in regards to hands-only CPR and bystander CPR. So generally, only half of Americans can be counted on to perform CPR in an emergency, which is really disturbing because a lot of times when emergencies happen outside of the hospital setting, there's numerous people standing around and nobody reacts. A lot of times people give certain reasons for not wanting to perform CPR. So in a study done by the Sudden Cardiac Arrest Foundation of about 1,200 Americans, only 87% of those people said that in an emergency situation they did perform CPR, which to me is an alarming amount because I wasn't expecting to be that many people. However, 13% of those people said that they did not perform CPR, and they gave various reasons as to why. So I'm going to go through those reasons, and then we're going to get into some methods to kind of make the process easier for you as a bystander if the case ever comes up. 31% of those people said that they did not perform CPR because they were afraid of legal ramifications. They didn't want to be responsible if anything happened to the person, or if the person didn't live, they didn't want the family to be able to come back and say that, oh, well, you messed him up by what you did. 28% that said that their skills were not up to date. They were at one time CPR certified and didn't keep their certification current, and they didn't feel like they were, at a good point to perform CPR. 24% of them said that CPR is too complicated, and it's not. I'm going to go through later what we call the hands-only method, which is very simple and easy to remember, steps that may help save someone's life. A lot of them, 16% of people said that they had not been trained to perform CPR, so they didn't want to. You don't have to be trained to perform CPR to help someone. When a person is in need of CPR, if they are in true cardiac arrest, they're at the worst point in their life, and nothing that you can do is going to make their situation any worse. They have no signs of life. There's no way that you can hurt a person that has no signs of life. So there's nothing that you can do that could be so wrong or so dangerous that could make their situation any worse than what it already is. 14% of those people said that they did not want to give rescue breaths. That brings me to a method of CPR that we call hands-only CPR. And this again is detailed very deeply on the Sudden Cardiac Arrest Foundation website. So what hands-only CPR is, it's just like it says, it's giving CPR using only hands. There's no need for rescue breaths. What we want to do is to keep that person's heart pumping, which is going to keep the blood flowing. So even if that person is not breathing, their heart is still pumping, the blood is still flowing through their body, and that's keeping them sustainable until EMS arrives. One method that we use at my department, and I'm sure other people have heard of it before, is the Staying Alive method. We all know the song Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. If you are giving good compressions in the middle of the chest, about 2 inches in depth, sometimes you may feel or hear the person's ribs break. That's normal. But if you maintain a steady pace to the beat of Staying Alive by the Bee Gees, then you're doing good compressions. And that in itself is hands-only CPR. So I'm going to play a little clip and demonstrate what I mean by hands-only CPR to the beat of Staying Alive. It's that simple. There's no wrong or right way to do it. As long as you are giving good, strong compressions to the beat of Staying Alive, then that person, you're assisting in helping that person's heart to profusely pump the blood through their body. And that's all they need. So the main thing that I've noticed is that people say that they don't feel like they're certified and they don't want to give rescue breaths. I get it. You don't want to be giving mouth to mouth to someone that you don't know, but you are able to give hands-only CPR, and if you do it effectively, then you could very well save someone's life. Like I said, far more damage can come from doing nothing, standing by, not doing anything to assist when that person is laying there with no signs of life for 5 to 7 minutes, however long it takes for EMS to arrive. And in those 5 to 7 minutes, with the help of hands-only CPR, you could save someone's life. So it's very important for us as civilians, when we're not working, when you're on the street, to just be aware and be alert and be ready to react. That's the main thing. You don't want to harm anyone, but when they're in a situation where they're in their worst state, there's nothing you can do that could harm them. So hands-only CPR, bystander CPR is very, very important. You don't have to be trained. You don't have to be certified. You just have to be willing to help. And I hope that this presentation and the facts that I've given have helped kind of ease some of the worries that people may have in regards to giving CPR as a bystander. But just remember that you stepping in to help someone could save someone's life. Thank you.